Elliot, I
Hello.
have something I'd like to bitch about.
Yeah. Just for reference, he said, I got something to bitch about, but I'm going to turn the recording on first. So I'm hearing this for the first time, just as you
This is
all
true.
are.
So, okay, here's my thing I want to bitch about. I missed day one of Kato. I had a lot of work to do. I got COVID last week, so I came back from COVID and like started working again on Tuesday. So like Tuesday and Wednesday for me, kind of swamped all over the place. You may still hear a little bit of a head cold for me, but it's not like it's way better than it was before. Point being is I missed Kato day one. Okay, I missed the plans. And this morning when I went, oh shit, we're gonna record a podcast episode. I gotta know what the fuck happened. And I did my normal stuff of like I went to HLTV and I looked at the matches and I watched today's matches, but I wanted to see yesterday's matches. Okay, so I went to YouTube, okay, to figure out what happened yesterday. And when I went to YouTube and I searched for day one Katowice highlights, do you know what came up?
StarCraft 2?
No. ESL put out highlights from each match. Okay, the problem is that the highlight video was like 51 minutes long of a match.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here going, what the fuck am I? And there's no like full day highlights.
Are you sure that's not highlights of the full day?
No, because there were like 8 of them with different matches in the title.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, okay, I guess it's a best of 3. And it was for this year because it had been released like 15 hours ago or something like that. Because I found a lot that were not from this year. It was very difficult for me to find a highlight reel of all the matches from yesterday. Just like in one video. So I didn't have to go and find 7 videos for it.
I know in the past ESL have definitely done end of day recaps with highlights from every game because I've done voiceover for a couple of them.
I believe that. Like I was surprised at the difficulty it took for me to find it. Like, okay, Spirit versus the Mongols 7 hours ago. Okay, winner qualifies. 42-minute long video of highlights, which like, okay, it was a best of 3. That's fine. But there's no best of 1 highlights, and all these videos are at least 40 minutes. And it's like...
So I've just gone on the ESL channel while you were talking, and I don't see any highlights at all. So it's probably on a separate channel, right?
It's on ESL Counter-Strike highlights.
Okay, right.
When I searched on YouTube, IEM Katowice highlights day 1.
Yeah, I imagine it's a difficult undertaking editing-wise at speed. So
I'm sure it is.
That they just uploaded that quick and dirty, and then they would go and do a later one.
The problem is, even like the Vladopard channel and like all those other like highlight clip makers that normally do that shit, just no one had this.
Yeah.
And I found one guy who's got his video at this point now has, and I seriously mean this, 15 views from 8 hours ago. And I am one of his views because he made a 53-minute video that hit the whole day.
Amazing.
And it was excellent. It did everything I needed to do.
What's his name?
His name is CS2 Pro Highlights.
Fantastic. Does what he says on the tin.
Yeah, it was excellent. He's got like 1 million videos, and it did exactly what I needed to do. So shout out to that guy because no one else did what that guy did and gave me 1 day's full worth of highlights.
I do wonder if part of the reason ESL don't do particularly curated videos is because there's people like Vladopard.
But
Vladopard is a group of about 15 people, I'm pretty sure, that does the editing. So I think it's almost like pointless for them.
But they were doing they did the same single match highlight stuff.
Yeah.
Vladopard didn't have a full video, but they had like per match as well. So I'm sitting here going, there was physically not enough time between the time I started at 10 a.m. and the time it is now, which it's 5:45 after matches on day 2 of the play-in, for me to watch all of these videos. I could have watched the games at 2 times speed and gotten it quicker than the videos.
Yeah. I think I can't remember what I was going to say. I had a point to make. I don't mind single game highlights because you can skip the games that you're not interested in. For example,
no,
did you not know the result? Cloud9 versus Rebels would have been a really good one to skip.
Yeah, for what it's worth, this is a very niche issue that I'm having.
Oh, absolutely.
I need to record a podcast and I missed a full day's worth of games and I have 7 hours to watch all the games.
So in the football, every Premier League game has a 3-minute highlight video uploaded to the Sky Sports Premier League channel within a few hours, which is above and beyond. But my complaint with that is I will often watch like every single one except one, which will be if Aston Villa win, I have no interest in watching the highlights. However, YouTube only sees that it's another video of the same, and it keeps trying to recommend it to me. Like, no, I don't want to watch Aston Villa win. This is absolutely not what I want to watch, and they just don't listen to me.
I understand that because I'll watch NFL highlights the same kind of way, but like there are people. I don't know. Okay, I'm done bitching about this. That's it. That's my bit. Let's talk about Kato.
I tried to segue in with Rebel C9, and we just carried on.
No, because I needed to bitch for a minute. I needed to bitch for a minute. Kato, it's upon us. It's playing time. It's awesome.
It really snuck up on us. I feel like I didn't know Kato was happening until it happened. But
well, I mean, you literally you're working Kato, so
I got hired a week before.
You got hired a week before, and I just like kind of showed up today and went, "Oh shit, look at that, Kato's going on."
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I also had welcome letters to do, which it's not been a good day for me. It's not been a good day. I've seen 2 mistakes that I've made, and I'm like, what the fuck was I doing? Because I submitted them like weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, what was I doing I mean, I know what I was doing. I was writing them quickly because I was going away and I was very busy. So I had a lot on, which is why there's mistakes, but it's still like, it's frustrating. Very frustrating.
At least everyone was a good sport. Mostly. It's okay. Thorne didn't call you out this time, so that's an improvement.
Yeah, let's move on.
All right, let's start. Kato play-ins. I'm gonna start in a weird order because I don't want to spoil some stuff.
Okay.
In case you haven't watched them yet, we're gonna go through all of the opening rounds. We'll spend 2 minutes on each of these opening best of ones. We'll talk a little bit longer about the best of threes that have happened. We're at the end of day 2. This hopefully should go out either tonight US time or tomorrow morning England EU time. So basically the goal is you can listen to this at the beginning of the lower round 2 elimination.
Yeah, because it starts like super late tomorrow.
Yeah, it starts at 10:30 our time, like my time, which is stupid fucking late, which is awesome.
Half 4 my time. It's great for me because I get to I don't have to wake up till 2 p.m. to work. This is amazing.
I get to start work in the morning at 9 in the morning. I get to have coffee. I do my stand up. I get ready, and then I get to put Kato on the stand up. Yeah.
Sorry. Wait, you do as in stand up comedy?
No.
I do my stand up in the morning.
No.
So
in tech, you have this thing called stand up, which is at the beginning of your day. It's like a 15-minute meeting that everyone on your team says, "What the fuck did I do yesterday? And what the fuck am I going to do today?" So that way we're not all working on the same thing.
Yeah.
So that way
I do my stand up.
I do a stand-up comedy routine just in the mirror. Of the day, you notice how over time there hasn't been a mirror here after a while? That's because the stand-up, that's because this broke. My stand-up was so bad. Just shattered in pieces one morning.
That's really bad luck, I think.
Yeah.
Like breaking a mirror is already bad luck. Breaking it with bad comedy.
With bad jokes.
Awful, yeah.
All right.
Bad juju.
Let's start. In the most Virtus Pro fashion known to humankind, they beat Rooster. This was like the most non-match of humankind, and that's okay.
Oh, let me tell you, watching that game was genuinely painful. Virtus
Pro on Inferno is just
Virtus Pro and Rooster are also very slow. Like Rooster are clearly trying to play like Virtus Pro. They're not anywhere near as good, so it was a bit of a blowout. It's a good job it was a blowout. If that game
it was 14.
Overtime,
it was 13-4.
Yeah, and it still took about 45 minutes. It was fucking miserable.
It was bad.
I don't know if you've seen. We'll probably get to it later. I don't know if you've seen any of the Rooster interviews at this event, but they're mental.
I have seen some of them. Yeah,
they're absolutely mental.
I mean, this game was just your standard Inferno match with James. Like I don't have more to say.
It was incredibly boring.
Go watch any Inferno match from the last 3 years that includes James, and there you go. You've seen this match.
Well, I would recommend not watching any Inferno games, especially ones that include James.
All right. Next match on the list, Gamer Legion M80. So I want to talk about this match for a second, because first of all, M80 has a Valorant player playing. Because Def, who's their coach, is playing instead of Manx, who is their IGL.
Yeah.
Manx went on some. I believe it was announced that it was mental health leave.
It was. Yeah.
And when it first came out, the wording was very. This was
vague,
his choice, not a And then he came out and said, so basically, in order for M80 to do well here, Slacks, Swisher, and Malibs had to pull the fuck up. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But they played well against Gamer Legion, who's really fucking good. They didn't look like a shit NA team.
No, I mean
with a coach being a stand-in, like they look like a
team that has a Danish in-game leader. That's what they look like.
Even though they don't have a Danish in-game leader right now.
Well, quite. But supposedly, Def said that him and Manx see the game very similarly, which is part of the reason they wanted him in the first place. So that makes sense. And he's also taken Manx's roles 1-for-1, I believe.
Yeah, I mean that makes the most sense. But like they performed well up against Gamer Legion. For what it's worth, at this point in the event, so we're post day 2, Slacks has the second best rating in the event overall. Yeah, we'll talk about the first best rating in a minute, but like
temper expectations a little bit.
Slacks is kind of clapping a little bit.
I mean, he's also the only person. They're the only team that got to play a best of 3 against Rooster. So
that is true. Yeah,
Okay,
I'm going to move on from this match. Gamer Legion, they played well. There was no, I didn't have like a huge thing to say about it.
So I think quite interesting. Gamer Legion's coach, I think it was Ash, came out on Twitter and said, "I can't wait to fight like Fluke Legion strike again." This was after their second game. He said, "Fluke Legion strike again. Can't wait to hear how we didn't deserve to win this game either."
So, what I'm going to do is I'm going in pairs, and then we'll talk about the people that go. So, Virtus Pro played Gamer Legion. Gamer Legion beat Virtus Pro.
Quite convincingly.
Yeah.
And they were the better team.
And it's a pretty big upset because we've said this for a really long time, and it used to be Big that was like, hey, you're a good team if you can beat Big. They play in a style that's like, this is our European style. This is how we're going to play. If you can beat this, then hey, you're a pretty decent team. And then we said for a while that like, oh, Virtus Pro is your like path to greatness. Like if you can, like you can beat tier 2 European teams and NA teams and stuff. They play standard, but if you can beat whatever weird shit James is throwing at you,
if you're a pretty pro, you're a very, very good team usually.
Yeah, but if you can beat, and for what's worth, that goes even further. If you can beat Virtus Pro on Inferno, they didn't, but like if you can beat VP on Inferno, that's
they beat them on Overpass though. VP's Overpass is their record on Overpass is sensational.
No,
beating them on Overpass is no mean feat.
Yeah, agreed.
That's partially why I'm actually very much like, this is a very legitimate win and a very impressive win. They played VP on, it was Inferno, Overpass, and Vertigo, I think.
Yes,
I'm pretty sure Game Legion picked Vertigo.
Yeah.
Their Vertigo very, very good. And then, like
it has been for a bit.
Yeah, and to beat VP on Overpass is no mean feat. That's a very, very impressive win. I have no idea how good Game Legion are. Absolutely no idea.
At this point, I'd say at least very. I still probably wouldn't put Gamer Legion in like a top 5 teams in the world right now.
No,
but I could say that they have a true argument for a top 10 spot. I think.
Yeah,
they are 1,000% top 15. I say that there is a real argument for a top 10 spot.
Yeah, I could see them being as high as like 7th or 8th.
Yeah,
but I don't know because I
don't
really
think they're a top 5 team. The problem is
no,
like
they're not a top 5 team.
In teams in this bracket, they are a top 5 team, but we're missing in this bracket right here. We're missing FaZe, we're missing Navi, we're missing Vitality, we're missing Liquid. Like there's so many teams we're missing here.
We're missing Astralis.
All right, next set. Furia Mongols.
Oh, I didn't watch this game because I was on.
No, you don't need to watch this game. You don't need to watch this game.
Everyone knew what was going to happen. We all knew what was going to happen. As soon as we saw that game come up, you just knew the Mongols were somehow going to beat them.
Yep.
And they did.
It took an overtime, but they fucking did it. And you know what? I have so much respect for the Mongols going to every single one of these fucking events and absolutely shitting on Furia. Because this is like the 3rd or 4th time they played, and they have won every single time.
They're like 8-1 against Brazilian teams.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous.
Amazing.
I
love them
this
so much. Yeah. I will say as well, what I found very interesting, we had Art a couple of times on the B stream for interviews, and he said multiple Furia players have said Art is definitely calling with Fallen as a second caller. And also, they asked, are Mongols your kryptonite? And he said, I think we're our own kryptonite sometimes. Which I don't disagree with. But
I disagree with sometimes.
Well, quite.
But yeah, Mongols with a win on Furia, that's a dub.
Yeah.
So that match was really close, and it went to old CS lengths. It went to single overtime, 16-14 win.
Yep.
On the other side of this little mini bracket was the quickest match in the tournament and the second ever 13-0 in Katowice, where Spirit absolutely beat the shit out of Apeks.
Yeah.
And I not like we say beat the shit out of like fairly often on this show. Like,
yeah, no, they digged him.
No. There was no player higher than a 0.46 rating, and Jacob had a 0.16 rating.
Yeah.
Donk absolutely shit the bed on them, like,
yeah, that
in
was
like the best of ways.
Yeah, completely a complete route.
And the best part is Zontic, who was only 6-4.
Yeah. That's how you know it's a real fucking destruction, is when there's a guy who's not seen anyone.
Yeah, it's just like you didn't see anyone.
I love it when you're like, you're the B anchor on Mirage, you're like 2-2 and you're 6-0 down. I'm like, nothing about this game is like based on me at all. I've gone one-on-one twice and I've not seen anyone for 4 rounds. This is not my fault.
But yeah, so Donk is the real deal.
Yeah, I'm feeling good about my Spirit being the best team in the world prediction or whatever.
It really could be that. Yeah. There's a lot of Donk talk in the universe right now. While I agree Donk is incredibly good on this team, I need to take a moment to talk about Chopper just having one of those games again.
I love Chopper so much, man. Like, what a character.
I love him so much in the fact that just once in a while he just has like a superstar level game. And just
he also I think of pros who aren't horrendous at the game. He might have the worst crosshair placement of all of them. Like, honestly, watch Chopper's crosshair placement on any kill he gets. Every kill he gets is an upwards flick. He just aims at center of mass all the time and flicks upwards.
He's a closet opper. That's all it is.
Yeah,
he's a closet opper.
He uses every gun like an AWP.
But the problem is like he's got Shiro or any amount of young Russian oppers that to be available, so there's no reason for Chopper to op.
No.
But he still does it.
There's a couple of like Zeus always used to have terrible crosshair placement, but Zeus was like just kind of bad at the game.
No one cared that Zeus was bad at the game because he was the best IGL and it wasn't like
Simple's rifle crosshair placement isn't particularly good either, but that's because he's an AWPer, so it's like and he hits everything with a flick anyway, so he cares.
I was gonna say AWPers you forgive a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit though.
Yeah.
Okay. So those two teams collided. Mongols and Spirit, best of 3 to make it through. Spirit takes it 2-0. But like the first map was Spirit's map pick. They crushed Mirage.
Yep.
But the Ancient map pick was pretty close, and it was a pretty good map. And that was the day after Spirit had beaten Apeks on Ancient. Like it wasn't like a BS like thing or anything. Mongols just legitimately I'm sorry, Ancient was Spirit's pick. Mirage was Mongols' pick. Mongols
picking Mirage into Russians is mental, by the way. Yeah. If you've ever played Face It in England or matchmaking, like if you've ever played matchmaking in Europe, if you ever played Face It in Europe, you do not pick Mirage into Russians or Portuguese people. You just don't. You don't pick. There was every single Russian can walk out ramp or palace at 125 and headshot you no matter where you are standing. You can be on B and die from a guy walking out palace against Russians. They are insane at this map. Do not pick it.
So yeah, they picked it. They lost, but like Ancient was a good map.
Yeah,
and it took an overtime to beat them. Mongols continue to be the real deal, regardless of like how many matches they are winning or losing. They're showing that they are not the Asia team of the month, right? Because we used to have like the Tyloo of the month, and we had Rare Adam for a while, and we had Wings Up, and then we had Linvid. Like we used to have like, oh, it's the Asia team. Mongols are fucking here to stay.
Mongols are legit, yeah. They're actually just good. Like, just individually they're good, but they actually play a brand of Counter-Strike that
makes sense and is repeatable.
Yeah.
Well, I think the biggest thing is it's not that it's just thought out; it's repeatable.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was the
But that was the problem with the Tylus of old, is that they had this
Yeah.
brand of Counter-Strike that was just like, oh, we're gonna fucking W key in and hope we kill them. And
Yeah,
that's
it's
how
great,
they get
isn't
like
it?
those upset wins. And Mongols play this like thought out version of Counter-Strike, as you said, that is you can repeat. You can rely on the way that you play. All right. Ents big. Big
Yeah.
Ents. Large enchiladas.
That's all we got to say about it.
That's all I gotta say. I mean, like, big one, and that's the most
Yeah.
big shit I've ever heard.
Big. I've
like-
literally, again, I've no idea how good big are. I think
Absolutely
they're
zero.
like 15th in the world, but they might be good. They might not be.
Well,
They
okay,
might
so
be
here's
terrible.
the question.
I have no idea.
We just said that Gamer Legion, for a fact, is top 15 with a possibility of top 10.
I think
Big
Gamer
or
Legion are
worse
better
than-
than big. Yeah.
I agree. I am certain Gamer Legion is better than big.
I'm not certain. I'm definitely
No.
not certain anyone.
Actually, you know, that's a good point. I shouldn't be certain with anything involving big.
No.
But
Big at
like,
any point in time could be the best or worst team in the world, and I have no idea.
God, what a fucking weird team. I'm moving on from this.
Yeah, I mean,
but-
beating Ents is a pretty good result, really. Like,
Ents losing here set up the greatest match of all time. We will get into in a minute.
Yeah.
So the other match on the other side of this little bracket was Heroic Astralis, which is just a banger for a variety of reasons, because you get the stabby comeback, and just Heroic always kind of played second fiddle to Astralis, even when Astralis was bad.
yeah.
Heroic was
Well,
like, oh, even when Astralis was bad, they were still the bigger Danish team.
they're big. Yeah, they're bigger in a sort of figurative sense.
Yeah. So
Like Manchester United are bigger than Man City. Like,
yeah, exactly.
fine.
I actually understand that.
Yeah.
But because of this, Heroic beat Astralis. And
Yeah,
it felt
which
pretty
is hysterical.
good of a match. Yeah,
So
like,
funny.
absolutely great. We'll talk about the Astralis Ents match in a little bit, because that's
Also extremely funny.
extremely
Just very funny. Like, this whole group was very, very funny.
Heroic beat Big in a match that existed. There's
And
nothing more to say than this match exists.
Actually, I do have something to say, which
you have
is
something to say. Please say it.
I'd like to give some credit to Nikodos, because he was a very good player on Copenhagen Flames. He went to Fnatic and things didn't work. And people like, I've heard people call him dog shit, absolutely useless. I've heard like things about Nikodos that I'm just like, but he wasn't this bad 3 months ago. Like, you can think he's like, and like, or maybe he didn't adapt to tier 1, wherever it was. But he was also, if that Fnatic team was a bit of a,
He had Dexter as an IGL.
yeah, it was a bit of a shit show. And he's now got a move to Heroic, which is, kind of like, if this move didn't work out for him, he'd probably have to go back to tier 2, tier 3, probably for the rest of his career. And
He
he's
goes to
actually
Prezi.
taken this chance. Yeah. And he's actually taken this chance, and he's looking like the Copenhagen Flames Nikodos we saw before. Like the player that people were excited about. And he was the best player in the server in, I think, both of their games. I don't remember the Astralis one. I was not really paying attention to that one at the time.
I think he was. He was not. Chush was.
Oh, okay.
He was all the way at the bottom.
Okay. Well, he was very, very good against Big anyway. And
yeah,
I think that's nice. I think I want to give him some credit for that.
Okay. We're going to be given more credit in a second. Okay, so the next two matches we're going to talk about in the other order than I've been doing on the matches, so just don't worry too much about it. Cloud9 Rebels. I want to talk about this one before we talk about the other match here.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be a lot of talking about the other match.
Yeah.
There'll be a good chunk of talking about this one as well. Cloud9 are this Russian super team. Rebels are hold on, let me look it up. The ESL Polish champions from autumn 23, in which they're actually not, for what it's worth. Paloma was the autumn champions.
I think
the
Paloma
it's not
Okay.
the same roster.
Oh,
So
okay.
I've done research on this, okay? So the roster is a little bit different. They used to have Moonwalk. They now
Cool
have
name.
I agree. They now have Casey, and they've switched orgs.
Yeah.
I thought it was more different, but the orders were different, which was the problem in my head. Okay. So the ESL Polish champions of autumn 2023.
Yep.
And they beat Cloud9.
So obviously it's a best of one. It's Mirage. I know I said don't play Mirage against Russians, but you know, it is also a good upset map, I suppose. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe Cloud9 did an offer. I don't know.
Yeah, you know, there's only one other team that famously didn't really have an offer, and that was that like good team that didn't have an offer. And that was the 2019 Liquid.
That was also 5 years ago.
Which was A, 5 years ago, and B, Nitro was a better offer than Boomich was.
He was on a better team.
Are you okay? I'm seriously asking this question. Are you telling me that the core of Electronic, Axile, and Perfecto is not a better core than 2019 Elige, Stewie, and Twists?
I think I would take either Twists or NAF was also on that team, no?
Yeah, well, it's NAF and Hobbit would be the next people there.
Well, NAF's better than Hobbit.
I agree with that.
They're all better than Axile at the moment.
Yeah.
So, I put it this way: how many other Na'Vi players are getting on that Liquid team?
Simple.
Electronic.
Electronic. Today.
So the current
like if you took that 2019 team and added the players from today on Cloud9,
you end up with at least 3 Liquid players.
Yeah, I mean you take Elige,
you take NAF, Elige, Twists. You probably then take Electronic, and then either Boomich or Nitro, depending on who you prefer.
Yeah,
I prefer Boomich, but
I think there's a case for Perfecto somewhere there.
But Perfecto's
I'm not sure
like NAF.
No, I understand. But like 2019 NAF and Twists was not as good as 2024 NAF and Twists.
Ooh.
They were good. Or wait, actually, no, wait, over Stewie, I'd take Perfecto.
No, completely different roles.
Yeah, I don't care though.
No. Like, I think you replace Stewie with Electronic.
Okay.
And then you take.
We're getting very off topic here. Rebels beat Cloud9, absolute banger. Go watch it. It was a fun match. The other match in this little bracket was Bet Boom against Eternal Fire.
One thing about Bet Boom is you'll notice on broadcast that always referred to as BB team because in Poland you're not allowed to use Bet Boom aren't allowed in Poland, so they're always BB team.
That tracks. I have another bit about that in a minute. It's another tangent. Actually, I'll do the tangent now. In Formula One, there's the Sauber F1 team, which was Alfa Romeo for a while.
Yeah.
And their biggest sponsor into this year, their title sponsor is actually Stake, the gambling website. So in all of the races they can be, their team name is Stake F1. But there's a bunch of places they can't advertise gambling. So in those places, their name is Kick F1. Because they use the streaming service. So I Bet Boom is the same shit. Where you can't advertise gambling.
There's a couple of those as well with the HLTV show in Belgrade where it was sponsored by 1xBet, but you weren't allowed to say that. So
it just appeared once in a while.
Yeah.
Eternal Fire, Bet Boom, Wicadia, and Xantares are like the real deal, and we've known that the whole time.
Wicadia is the fucking truth, man. This kid's ridiculous. Wicadia, Xantares. Name 5 teams with a better rifle duo than Wicadia and Xantares. It's really hard. That's so good.
Okay. I can name like 2 or I can name a couple of them, but the problem is they're all like top 5 teams.
Yeah, G2.
Like it's like G2 with Nico Hunter, Vitality with just pick 2 riflers from Vitality.
Yeah, like Spinks Mezzi. I'd say Spinks Mezzi's pretty good.
Spinks Flames, pick 2 riflers.
Spinks Flames is closer, I think. Wicadia's Antares is really good. It's
Liquid, Yakindar, and
I'd say
Yakindar Twists.
Maybe Twists and NAF versus Wicadia Antares, but I think that's close.
That's pretty close too.
Wicadia is the truth, man. He's so good.
There's a couple of teams that you can go like, Spirit, pick any 2 riflers, including Donk.
Donk, Donk plus 1.
Donk plus 1.
But like,
no.
do you think?
No, but
do you think
the problem
Navi
is those
or
are
Mouse have two better players?
no. But the problem is like I look those the two or three rosters we named at the start, right? Liquid and G2 and Vitality are top 5 teams or aspirationally top 5 teams.
Yeah.
And Spirit, we have already determined in January is the best team of 2024.
Something like that. Yeah.
So like, yeah, that's some pretty good company to be in.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any others. I was thinking maybe Falcons, but I'm not. Again,
I was thinking about Falcons,
most
but
of
I'm
their
not.
power is Sun Pius +1, I think.
Yeah.
I was cello. No, like
for what it's worth, we are very certainly not noting Cloud9 Rebels. Not Cloud9 Rebels. Cloud9. Yeah. I'm choosing not to.
Yeah. At the moment, I take Wicadia over
Frozen Robs. We missed.
Frozen Robs, yeah, fine. Yeah,
that's a big one we missed.
I'll give you that one.
Depends on the day. Floppy JT. Floppy Leash.
No. Depends
on the day.
No. Wicadia, I love Floppy. Wicadia is better than Floppy. Wicadia is so good. His rating goes up on LAN. This kid's insane. He's so good.
No, I'm in on this team. I like this team.
There's somebody who would say Astralis. I wouldn't.
No, I would not say Astralis.
I wouldn't say Astralis.
All right. So Eternal Fire and Rebels played in the upper quarters. Eternal Fire went through. So 4 teams that went through already. Eternal Fire, Heroic, Spirit, and Gamer Legion. The lower round 1 matches require a little bit more dissection here. Cloud9 Bet Boom, an absolute banger from storyline.
Yeah.
Astralis Ents, an absolute banger from storyline. Furia Apeks, an absolute banger from storyline.
Furia Apeks.
And M80 Rooster, an absolute banger from storyline.
I aged so much watching Furia Apeks.
You look at those 4 matches, and I could not think of a better way to pair them up than the way that they got paired up.
I mean,
like,
so the Cloud9 loss to Rebels ensures that M80 Rooster, the winner of that, got to play Rebels to go through, which is just really funny because it just wouldn't have been like if Cloud9 had just beaten Rebels. Cloud9 would have had such an easy path, I think.
So Cloud9 played Bet Boom in the NAFNI match of the year.
Yeah.
Cloud9 won, but this was Overpass was hard. Overpass, like Bet Boom won Overpass. It took 3 or 4 overtimes.
More, I think. More.
It took a lot of overtimes.
It was a long game.
It was really fucking long. Yeah. I just can't. Yeah, they played an entire other game of Counter-Strike too.
It's a long game.
It was a long game, and then Cloud9 beat them really handily on the next 2 maps. But like, Overpass was a fucking slugfest.
Yeah. Yeah, there's really not a lot else to say. I think Cloud9, you have to be a bit worried about them. Even though they won, they lost the map to Rebels. They didn't like. If you're going to cut your in-game leader and sign the players they did, it probably shouldn't be this close when the in-game leader just starts his own project. Like,
and for what it's worth, the Bet Boom team isn't bad.
No,
like, the Bet Boom team is very good.
But the Cloud9 team wasn't made to be better than Bet Boom. It was made to be the best in the world.
Yeah,
and they're not.
And you shouldn't be fighting against Bet Boom.
No, exactly.
This is not trying to put Bet Boom down. We are very clearly trying to put Cloud9 down.
Yeah. Then there's a rumor going around today or the last few days of Cloud9 signing Simple, which,
of course, that tracks.
I don't know if there's anything in it.
I wonder if who they're gonna get rid of.
Well, on current form, it'd be Exile.
You just literally in my head, it's
Navi with Hobbit.
You get rid of Exile and just go Navi minus Bit plus Hobbit. There you go. Bit was the problem. Like yeah. What the fuck? Okay. So Cloud9 won, but that first map, that was if you're gonna go watch a map from today, that was the map. That was a banger.
Oh, I don't know. I think map 2 of Furia Apeks.
Oh, I forgot about the rest of the matches.
Yeah.
Astralis Ents. So storyline for this one. Glaive is no longer with Astralis and now is with Poland's best players and Cuban.
Yeah.
And
that
Glaive
sounded really disrespectful. Cuban's the coach, by the way.
Yeah, Cuban's the coach.
Yeah. Poland's best players and Cuban. Just sounds really like...
Yeah,
he's shit, though.
No, that wasn't meant to be a dig at Cuban. It was just the rest of the team is all Polish. And I don't know where Astralis was because they certainly were not playing Ancient.
Oh, it's so funny. It is just so funny. Astralis go out losing to Heroic, who they stole all of their players off. And their old in-game leader managing Polish players.
Their old in-game leader who they...
so much money. You spent so much money to get rid of, like, to take all of Heroic's best players and offload a player to Ents, and you get beat by both of them.
As I said, the storylines are excellent.
So it's so
the storylines
funny.
of this event are excellent.
Regardless of whether or not you like Astralis, you have to admit it is an objectively funny outcome for them to lose.
Oh no, yeah. Like
we
we are famed Astralis haters on this podcast, okay?
Oh yeah,
but it doesn't matter because this is just funny.
Oh yeah, it's
like this is
funny.
This is objectively funny.
So
like
funny.
We do not need to be Astralis haters to note that this is just fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's so good. They didn't win a map.
They didn't win a map this entire tournament. It's fucking excellent.
Yeah. So
absolutely perfect.
At the play-in.
In the play-in. They didn't get to the main event and not win a map.
Yeah,
they couldn't get out of the studio hall. They didn't get to a stage.
If you look at the results side by side, they did no better than Rooster IEM Katowice. And Rooster were not taking it massively seriously.
All right, let's talk about the M80 Rooster game.
What a waste of time that was.
That was a banger game for me to watch. I watched Def get a bunch of kills. And also, we got the best little content piece out of this game, okay?
So, they get their pre-game interview.
I wasn't even talking about the Rooster stuff. Okay.
Okay. Pre-game interview. They spoke to Banks spoke to Chelios.
Yeah.
And he says, are you expecting M80 to play a different style to what VP played yesterday? And he went, I don't know. We've never watched them. What? Why have you never watched them?
Why didn't you watch them last night?
They will never, ever get a better chance to qualify for IEM Katowice. They had to beat M80 and Rebels.
And Rebels, yeah.
I'm not saying Rooster are a good team, but if they were ever going to qualify for Katowice, it was by beating M80 with a stand-in and Rebels. And you don't watch a demo?
Like, I don't get it. Like, even if you watch just the M80 game that they put in its Gamer Legion, like that would have been better. Like, I get it's Nuke and you end up playing Inferno Vertigo, but like still, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, like
so
just insane.
So that was excellent that they didn't watch a single demo. And there was an interview after the game too with their coach, right?
Oh my god, this was. I couldn't tell if I think he was joking.
Can you explain what happened? Because I didn't see this. I saw that there was a thing, but I didn't.
So completely deadpan. He shows up to the interview. So he on stage or on screen, he was wearing James Banks's jacket, just for no reason. Turns up to the interview. James Banks says, "That's a nice jacket. Where'd you get it?" He's like, "Oh, just from an old mate." Okay, fine. And then he just says, like, Banks says, "How are you feeling after that type of thing?" Just like a feeler out question.
Yeah, like
he just goes, "Oh, really bad, really bad, really bad. Disgusted, actually." And Banks goes, "Who are you disgusted with?" And he says, "Well, the team. I'm disgusted. This is embarrassing. I might quit." Completely deadpan. Just says, "Yeah, I might quit after this." I think he was joking, but it's really
it sounds like
completely deadpan.
It's a very Australian like kind of thing.
And then he says, but. You're not going straight home, obviously. You've got a boot camp in Europe, I believe. And he goes, yeah, but first of all, we're going to go and get shit-faced.
Excellent. No notes.
You can see Banks just go, okay, but then when you recover...
You got a boot camp, right?
Like, he went, yeah, well, when we recover, we're here for a week to practice, but first I'm going to go and get shit-faced. And he just cut to the desk, and they were just like... He seems like a fun guy, and they had Def on the desk and just said, "Well, this is a bit of a trial run. He seems more interested in you. So if this interview doesn't go the way we want, we might just go and hang out with him. He seems fun." Very odd, really odd.
So those were excellent because I saw the first one. Excellent. The other thing that came from this match was the desk for this match was Stunna or Darth Mike, depending on when you were there.
Yeah.
Plus Maui Snake and Steel. So just all American and Canadians, right?
Yeah.
Like, excellent time to be there for MAD. And Steel, who's fine, who day one was a little all over the place, but day two seemed like he actually got really comfortable.
Oh, he was on form. He's very funny
pulled up. They asked him to pull up a round of a take on Inferno B site, and he starts analyzing this, just like who was it? Who used to do it? It wasn't Neokai that used to do it for Blast.
And Mahone.
Mahone used to do it for Blast. Like he started doing the Telestrator thing. And then he starts talking in Valorant terms of everything.
Yeah.
Where he goes, and this is where he put an Omen Smoke in the middle of the site, and this is where, and he's just he fully committed to the bit. and at the end you hear Mike go, "We're trying to deprogram him. It's okay, just let him go."
Yeah, but he just makes so many like just offhand jokes that are just like
it was
slightly offbeat. That don't always land, but every time I hear one, I laugh to myself.
Excellent.
It's so good. There was
excellent.
I think it was Maui Snake said to him, "There was we got an expert on people who know how to lose a round."
Yeah,
and he just turned around like this. Who's he talking about?
No, Steel is excellent. Good. I want him at every event.
Yeah, he's
please really hire Steel. I'm so happy he's back.
Yeah.
The last
I also think Bubsky's very good on the desk.
Bubsky is very good. This event
different style, but very
this
good.
Event talent. I said this when the actual like talent list came out. This may be the best event talent we've ever seen.
Possibly.
Like the fact that Shocks is just interviewing people and like that, like she's great at that, but the fact that she's just interviewing, it's excellent. There is nobody that I could think of when I saw the announcement of like, I'd like them to be on this as well. This is tangent, but whatever. ESL does this for Cologne and Kato and for if they put on a major, but they don't fuck around with company ties. Because Machine and Sponge and Harry and Hugo are ESL casters, right? It's pretty well known. And Scrawny and Launders are blast casters. And that's not like in a bad thing. But they don't fuck around with, we're not going to hire you for this because you're a blast caster. They just hired, who are the best available casters? Yeah. I would like them, thank you.
Oh yeah, if you can't for my money, Scrawny and Launders are the best casting duo in Counter-Strike. And I think any CS event is incomplete without them.
But you go through and it's like, who would I like as casters for this event? Scrawny and Launders? Yep, they're there. Machine and Sponge? They're there. Yeah. Harry Hugo? They're there.
Yeah.
Okay. Who else is going to be? Anders and Henry G, who have been pretty good recently.
Dinko and Moses, I think.
Dinko and Moses, who have been really good recently. Neokai and
I can't remember who the fuck is this event.
I
think he changes partners quite regularly. I don't say actually. Moses had a bit of a
no. Sorry, I'm sorry. Neokai's at the RMR. I'm fucking dumb.
Oh, that's good. I was like, I don't remember seeing him, but you've said him. So
I'm fucking dumb. He's at the RMR. I'm fucking dumb.
So Moses went through a period where it felt like he just wasn't on broadcast as much.
Yeah, because he always Anders
happy to see Moses.
I'm always happy, but like Anders and Henry G became but it's legit across the board. It's excellent.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy with it. I'm very happy with how everything's going. Okay. Let's talk about the last game, which requires a little bit more of a deep dive. Furia against Apeks.
This game was fucking stupid, man.
This game.
It was so stupid. It made no sense whatsoever.
So let's start with Inferno. Inferno was a relatively-ish normal map for this series, okay?
Furia are terrible at Inferno. They always have been. They probably always will be.
Apeks go up 10-2 on the T side. They lose a couple rounds on CT, but they end up winning the map 13-9.
Yeah.
Relatively normal Apeks map, right? And this is the day after they get 13-0'd by Spirit, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Jacob has an interview ahead that was just like, hey, we're like trying to make the stage, but like really we're looking at practice here because this is a pretty new team. Because realistically, they just brought in Kashinito, and Sense is pretty new to the team, and Sticko is not new to the team, but also is new to the team.
He's just come back. Yeah.
So they're a little all over the place, and they have a new coach. They have Mither now instead of Cuban, because Cuban went over to Ounce. So they're a little all over the place, which is fine and reasonable, and I have no issue with that. And Jacob was like, yeah, we're here to we need practice. Okay. So go through map 1, fine. Map 2 is Mirage. Now, Apeks started on the CT side, went up 10-2. It took like 8 or 9 rounds for Nock to die in the first half.
No, he didn't die in the first half. He
didn't die in the first half. Sorry,
he was 15-0 at the half.
He was 15-0 in the half. Excellent time. I walked away for 3 rounds before the half ended.
Yeah,
so
he
died.
He was 15-0 at the half.
Okay, so he was 15-0 at the half, right? No player on like, it was an excellent half by Apeks, right?
Yeah,
and that wasn't to say anyone else was doing like that. The teams were doing bad. They were doing bad, but they weren't like atrocious. And then Furia gets on the CT side and wins the pistol and wins the conversion and wins the first gun round and doesn't lose. They literally won out their CT side to win the game. Apeks did not win a single of their T side rounds.
But it didn't even feel like Furia won all those rounds, but it didn't really feel like they did anything special. Like,
no,
I don't know how to describe it. It felt like Apeks shooting themselves in the foot a lot of the time. Like, it felt like they just had no control.
If you want to see a stupid chart, okay, what you do is you go to this matches page, this specific map, this Mirage map, okay? And you go to the stats for the players, right? And you can adjust by terrorist and counter-terrorist, right? You go to the counter-terrorist side. The average on counter-terrorist side for rating across both teams is like a 1.6, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's green except for Art, okay? Like, everyone's like way above 1. The lowest rating is like 1.11 for Kachanita, okay? T side, there is no one above a 1 except for Stiko. And the next highest is like a 0.74 for Cello.
Yeah.
It was just the worst T sides known to humankind and the best CT sides. It is an excellent chart.
It really felt like neither team had a plan that wasn't just walk out and take a fight.
Exactly.
Really like, and I know that's really, really almost lazy analysis, but it genuinely
no, that's just genuinely what it felt like. It felt like
anyway always play like just a spread out and default style. Like, they just spread out and try and make plays. But it felt like Apeks were doing the same thing.
It felt like, and I mean this as no disrespect to people that I know that listen to this, right? I play in a beer league that's like pretty structured-ish, right?
Right.
But like, no one's good. It's a fucking beer league, right? And I'll IGL, and like the best IGL you'll get from me is default A smokes or B smokes on Mirage. You'll get a little bit more, but like that, you're not getting much more. It felt like that's what both these teams T-side was calling, was just like, oh, we're going to go A and we're going to wait 30 seconds and then we're going to do the most silver default smokes and go.
There was a round Apeks lost, obviously, on the team. They lost every round. But I think Furia took early. I think they had a man in sandwich and then like one connector, one jungle. And they were quite heavy on mid at the start. And Apeks called an A execute quite early on, which isolates the man in sandwich, and because the other two are stuck behind smokes. And Kezerato comes through a smoke, kills one, fine, it happens. And then he comes back through the smoke with a flash, and like it's like a labored spray, and he kills a second before he goes down. It's like, this just shouldn't happen. Like, he shouldn't be allowed to go through one of your set smoke. Like, when you do an execute, I mean, most people molly the benches anyway, so that isn't really possible. Whatever, they didn't molly it, whatever. But you've got to watch the edge of that smoke. Like, it's the only way they can help the man on the site is they come through this smoke. And he goes through dry the first time and then gets flashed through the second time. And he gets 2 kills. And all of a sudden it's a 4v3 retake. 3v2 retake, I should say. And they end up losing it.
Here's the problem, though, right? Mirage finishes. And when we went to Ancient, which was almost as stupid.
Yeah, it nearly...
Because
here's the same thing.
Yeah, it was a 9-3 start on the T side now from Apeks on Ancient. Yeah. And then Furia won the pistol. And then they won the conversion. and they won the first gun round, and they won the first 5 rounds until Apeks finally got one, and it really looked for a minute like they were going to do the same shit they had just done.
The first round Apeks won, if I remember rightly, was a 1 rifle 4 pistols round where Sassanito pushes through A main and gets 2 kills with the only rifle. He just like runs through, he just walks through A main as a C2.
I do not have that detailed of statistics.
I think I can HLTV. Find it. But I'm pretty sure I remember it quite vividly.
I can look. First half, so the first round Apeks won. It is a force buy.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he walks through A main with the only rifle.
HLTV has a thing, and it shows the UMP and head armor. Yeah. UMP head armor for the first round that they did. So that's a that's a force buy round as opposed to a eco
4 buy. Yeah.
Well, no, because
it's defined as between 10 and 20.
Oh, okay. Equipment value is $11,000 for that round that they won. Now on a normal buy round,
Sassanito had 6K of it.
A normal buy round's about 30,000.
Yeah. Pretty sure he had like most of that. It was like 4 pistols and him on a rifle, and I'm sure he gets 2 kills pushing through A main and they win the round.
Oh, they call it a semi buy instead of a semi eco. Okay. Yeah. It's a half buy instead of an eco. Okay.
Yeah.
The more you know. But yeah, this match was dumb. Apeks won, but like
they almost lost it. They pulled off this round win they should never have had, and they strung a couple together, and then they lost another 3 while on match point.
They lost more. Yeah. It was infuriating to watch.
Yeah. It was infuriating for fans of both teams. Like Furia looked terrible.
This was
Fallen could not hit a shot,
which was insane because he was hitting everything on Mirage. Right on that second half of Mirage when Furia came back, Fallen was hitting everything.
But he was horrendous on Inferno. Inferno he was terrible.
Yeah. On Inferno and Ancient,
10 at one point.
He was bad on both Inferno and Ancient, but Mirage he was very good on.
Yeah.
It was a very weird day for Furia and Apeks.
No, there were one of the rounds. I just distinctly remember him missing a shot in a clutch. I think it was on Ancient actually. In a 2v1, his mate dies. He swings and misses the shot, and then Sassanito wins a 1v2 on the B site on Ancient, where he kills. I think it's Cello. Fallen re-swings. It just misses a shot that he just doesn't normally miss, and Sassanito just kills him and wins the round. I distinctly remember that. He was so bad today.
All right. So let's talk about the losers finals here that are happening. So there's 4 more slots left in the Kato main event.
Mm-hmm.
They will go to half of these teams. So the first one, absolute banger of a matchup to get through. Cloud9 Virtus Pro.
Yeah.
Just a banger. Because Cloud9's looked like shit.
This is a great test for Cloud9 to see if they're actually legit or if they are, we should be worried about them. VP are beatable, but they are always a difficult test.
Inferno will be played because Cloud9 plays. They don't permaban Inferno as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
So because they don't, Inferno will be picked by VP. And that's something going into this match.
Yeah.
Cloud9 playing on Inferno against VP is a scary thing.
Yeah, I think VP win Inferno.
Fucking terrifying. Yeah. Which means you're already at a 1 map disadvantage and you haven't started playing the game.
Yeah. I think if
you got to be excellent on your maps.
I can't remember Cloud9's map pool off the top of my head. They might pick something like Ancient.
I think they play Anubis Ancient Overpass.
Well, they won't pick Overpass, that's for sure.
No, they're not after today.
No, they won't pick Overpass.
They picked Anubis against BetBoom.
Okay, I could see him picking Anubis then. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, they played Anubis against BetBoom stats. They
like VP permaban Nuke, if I remember rightly. I don't think I've ever seen VP play Nuke.
I think that's true. I'm looking at things. I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
VP. I fucked up the clicking. Oh, there's so much clicking.
I could be completely
right. That tracks. That sounds right. That VP
they do
nuke. They permaban nuke. But Cloud9 likes to play it. So it's gonna go to Overpass, Anubis, Mirage, Ancient.
Yeah, it'll be.
Inferno.
I think it'll be. Yeah, it'll be Anubis, Inferno, and then probably an Overpass Decider, which I think.
Yeah,
Virtus
that's a
Pro will be pretty
VP
happy
favorite,
with.
right? Yeah.
Like,
So should be Virtus Pro through. The next match I think is a banger. It's Ents against Mongols.
yeah, I don't know where that goes.
I don't know where. Like in my head, I know that the right answer to say is like, oh, Ents win this.
I think Ents win,
but yeah, that's the problem. Is like, yeah, Ents should win this. On the other hand, the Mongols just always come to play, and they could legitimately come and.
If Mongols did win, I wouldn't be like.
I wouldn't be surprised. Shocked. Yeah,
but
it should be Ents.
Yeah, I think Ents will probably win, and I think they'll probably win 2-0. But
if Mongols take a map, if Mongols win, I'm not surprised either way.
Yeah,
that should be a good game to watch though, because that will be all over the place.
It's on. I was surprised that one's on the A stream, Cloud9 Virtus Pro on B stream, which I thought was very strange.
Good, because this map will be closer than the Cloud9 Virtus Pro match. I was thinking like if we were talking Ents like 2 months ago, like it's Ents easy over Mongols, but the fact that it's like, if you think about it this way, it's 9 against Mongols. That's a way tougher. Like that is a legitimately good match to watch.
But you also wouldn't have 9 Mongols on the A stream of a Cloud. No, that's why I find it strange. Whatever, man, it's fine.
Ents. Okay, big Apex, which is that will be a match. I have no words ahead of time for it. That will be a match.
I think big win. I don't think Apex. I think they make too many mistakes, and I think big don't really make mistakes.
I actually think Apex win.
No, I don't. I think Apex just make too many mistakes. Big are good at punishing mistakes.
I don't know, man. I'm looking at this Apex lineup. I'm like, the problem is I have no faith in big. I also have no faith in Apex.
But yeah. Watching Apex today, it's like they got. It depends, because
it depends.
On one hand, the hardest thing to do is go 10-2 up.
Yeah.
So in a way, like, I should be impressed, but I don't know.
I'm not impressed with anything Apex did today.
Yeah, I don't think FURIA are very good. So
that'll be an interesting game, and if you value your sanity, don't watch it. You could watch the other game instead, which will be Rebels M80, which will legitimately be interesting to watch.
Yeah, but also don't. Again, I wouldn't watch it if you care about your sanity. Rebels. I don't know. I actually don't know. Rebels clearly aren't that good, because otherwise, you know what I mean. We'd know more about them in a sense, but also they did beat Cloud9 on Mirage,
and on the other hand,
M80 have a coach. Like
M80 has a stand-in. I'm sorry, I want to talk about one more thing with M80.
I think Rebels might win. I don't know.
An unrelated M80 thing is, because Depth is coaching them, they have Psycho, who's their like director of esports completely at M80, who traveled with them, who is wearing a full suit and aviators with long glasses standing behind him and just yelling insults at the other team because he doesn't know shit.
Yeah.
Like he's a Rocket League Valorant guy. He's like, as far as I'm aware, or Rainbow Six guy, he's not a Counter-Strike guy.
He shouted he's a Valorant player when Def was top fragging against.
Yeah. It's excellent. His entire job is to stand there and yell insults, and it's perfect, and I love it.
Yeah.
And wear sunglasses. He's basically Semphis, but has less responsibilities.
Yeah.
It's excellent.
And nowhere near as hench.
And nowhere as large, but he does wear a suit. So we're like...
Yeah, but I don't know. I think probably the defining factor about Semphis is how huge he is.
I'd agree.
I wish I was as big as Semphis.
This game will be something to watch. I would not pay a huge amount of attention to it. In fact, I would put it in the background of whatever you're doing, because if you actually pay attention to this game, it will be less fun. Now, very quickly, Elliot, what stream is this game going to be on?
The M80 game is on the B stream, yeah.
So you'll be having to pay attention to this, right?
Yes, I will, yeah.
Okay, so just I'm going to check on your sanity tomorrow.
FURIA Apex. It cannot make me more insane than FURIA Apex. So.
I'll check in on your sanity tomorrow.
I mean, it's fine. I get to watch Malbs play Counter-Strike, which is just always a joy.
And Depth.
And Def, which is always a joy.
All right, that's gonna be it from us. Kato comes back after tomorrow. I don't think are there matches this weekend. Past?
I don't think there's a day break until the 7th, which is my birthday.
Oh shit! For a variety of reasons, we get to record on your birthday next week.
Yeah, we do. So I might turn up in a pie hat if I can be asked.
Yeah, there will be Elam matches that start on Saturday and Sunday. We will have the groups mostly done.
Yeah.
By the time we podcast next. Actually, the groups will be fully done, and we'll just talk about playoffs.
Yes, yeah, it'll be playoffs.
So if you want any information about the groups, don't come here. go.
Well, no, if you want to know about it retroactively, yeah.
If you want to know about it retroactively, but if you want to know about it while it's happening, you can go online to watch it, or go to readtldr.gg and sign up for our newsletter, which will come out on Monday morning. We write it on Sunday night.
No. We write it Monday morning.
Well, you may write it Monday morning, but my time it's Sunday night.
I'm like Santa Claus. I have to like hand deliver. I hand deliver every email. I have to write the same email like thousands of times.
But basically, there'll be a lot of information in there. That way, you don't have to worry about us not being there every step of the way.
Very cool.
Exactly. You can find us on Twitter at LoganRam, at AZSkin, at ReadTLDR. We'll be back again next week. See y'all.